And since it's the first time we speak after COP28, chairs, I hope you will indulge me with slightly more than 2 minutes. I'll try to be very brief. On behalf of the COP28 presidency, I would like, firstly, to express our gratitude to all parties and stakeholders here for your support and your engagement with our COP28 presidency that was instrumental in a successful first global stocktake and helped deliver the UAE consensus several months ago. We also convey our sincere appreciation to the SB chairs, yourselves, Ambassador Nabil and Harry, for your close collaboration with the presidency last year that ensured coherence and synergy between the work of the subsidiary bodies and what was ultimately the outcome of COP28. The success we collectively achieved in Dubai was underpinned by our deep commitment to inclusivity. The UAE consensus is an outcome owned by all and to be implemented by all. We encourage parties to use this time in Bonn to progress on the substance across mandates to ensure that by November they build a credible and robust pathway forward for climate ambition, implementation, and a successful COP29 in Azerbaijan, building on the implementation of the UAE consensus. Distinguished delegates, the course correction to keep 1.5 within reach and build global resilience requires a transformation of the world's current development model, and it must be guided by the latest science as well as equity so that climate ambition can drive social and economic prosperity and a just and equitable transition for all. Earlier this year, we launched the roadmap to Mission 1.5, together with the COP29 and COP30 presidencies, to drive political momentum and leverage the support of the entire UN system to enhance ambition in the next round of NDCs and implement the current NDCs. The next generation of NDCs is intrinsically linked to broader development policy, with immense opportunities to unlock investment that enables effective implementation and support to be channeled to new and sustainable growth. The UAE consensus provides a comprehensive roadmap to undertake this transformation. It sets the stage for a new era of climate action on mitigation, adaptation, and the means of implementation and support to be carried forward to 2030, bridging existing gaps in both ambition and implementation. As the COP President, His Excellency Dr. Sultan Al Jaber has stated, an agreement is only as good as its implementation. Our focus must now be on delivery, including how we take forward the mandates for the SBs, COP29 and COP30. This includes advancing a just, orderly and responsible energy transition to globally triple renewables capacity and double energy efficiency by 2030, as well as transition away from fossil fuels in energy systems. To strengthen global resilience by 2030, we must develop indicators under the UAE BELEM work program and significantly progress the formulation of national adaptation plans by 2025 with the goal of implementing them by 2030. The historic operationalization and early capitalization of the Loss and Damage Fund and funding arrangements at the opening of COP28 must now be carried forward through the work of the board in 2024. While nearly $800 million were mobilized at COP28, this needs to be scaled significantly to address rising needs, and we must ensure the fund is open for business by COP29. Colleagues, the UAE consensus must guide the ambition set forward in the next round of NDCs and the new collective quantified goal on climate finance, which are, together with national adaptation plans and the effective launching of the Paris Enhanced Transparency Framework, the most critical levers for implementation to tackle the climate crisis. Cooperative approaches under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement are uniquely positioned to help catalyze investment and enable ambitious action on mitigation and on adaptation. we invite parties to engage in finalizing the technical work outstanding on Article 6 so that the Paris architecture is fully in place to enable implementation. As we move forward under the flag of ambition to drive implementation, we must continue to uphold a high standard for inclusion. To this end, the review of the Gender Action Plan and the Work Plan for Local Communities and Indigenous Peoples Platform must also inform the implementation of the UAE Consensus. Distinguished delegates, allow me to briefly reflect on the important work we must collectively deliver at COP29 on climate finance. Above all, the right support and investment frameworks must be put in place to enable delivery. The new finance goal must strike the right balance of mobilizing support while respecting existing commitments, providing support that is adequate, affordable, and accessible. The scale of the challenge demands an international climate finance architecture that is fit for purpose, underpinned by international cooperation and solidarity, so that developing countries can do their part in tackling the climate challenge while at the same time driving prosperity and growth. COP28 showed that the complexity of the challenge and the apparent divergences are not roadblocks to ambitious outcomes, but rather building blocks that make them more robust, inclusive, and fair. We must not shy away from difficult conversations, but listen to the concerns of all to ensure that we can derive consensus at COP29 that can be translated not merely into outcomes, but most importantly, into action. Dubai gave us the momentum we needed. We must carry that forward. There's a significant amount of work ahead in 2024 to implement the UAE Consensus, close the ambition gaps to 2030, and keep 1.5 within reach. Let's keep our focus on our collective objective and prove that inclusive multilateralism can and must deliver, and we look forward to supporting our friends in the Azerbaijan COP29 presidency to do just that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.